Hello.
Oh, how are you doing?
Actually, doing pretty good. Pretty good. I thought I would take a nap today, and it just didn't happen. And then my husband came home with Krispy Kreme donuts.
Zing!
Score!
They're like eating
So
air. They just melt
they
in your mouth.
are. They are. Next day, forget it. The day you get them, glass of
One
milk
time
or a cup of
I
coffee.
actually, I can't remember if I tweeted them or I messaged on Facebook or, like put it on their page. But I said, I wish I would would set a trend and quit selling donut holes because donut holes are air. You sell donut middles or donut
What?
centers.
What?
And they said
Brilliant.
they liked my thought, but said that they didn't see it happening anytime soon.
Their campaigns had already gone too far.
But I
They
thought
aren't donut
at
middles.
that point I would make little plastic boxes that are empty and sell them for $2 and say donut holes. You know?
Donut bullseyes.
Yeah, yeah,
Bull
yeah.
eyes. Yeah.
But that's cool. I'll covet your donuts from here.
Absolutely. That was an unusual treat. It was kind of cool. But how about you? How are you doing?
I'm doing well. I'm doing well, and I've
You're
got a
getting
story to
tinier all
tell.
the time. Look at you. Your
No,
clothes
thank you.
your clothes are getting looser and looser, aren't they?
Yeah, there. This is one of my older shirts, and it's yeah, but that's a good thing.
And
Uh,
it's loose too. Yeah, very cool. You're on
yeah.
a high protein diet, correct?
Yes, doctor is watching me. I'm going in every couple of weeks, and the pounds are peeling off. I'm down about 50 pounds. So, yay!
Cool.
Thank you. Yeah, I had the bells for a while. So
Sure.
I can tell we're getting some people in, although we never can really tell how many people are watching. But welcome to Eyes of Indigo, and we want to know that you're here. So please say
Type
hello.
hello.
Yes, and you want to give the spiel?
Yes, I'm Margot. She's Iris. Hi.
We're just talking here, you know.
and to and to confirm, we like donuts, and this is Eyes of Indigo. We have been doing this almost weekly since September of 2020. We'd like to welcome our regulars, excuse me, back to the show. We appreciate you. Hi. If you are new to the show, welcome to the channel. We're glad to have you. If you're new and you have no idea who the hell is Margot and Iris and why are they qualified to talk about strange things in a rational way, which is our motto,
Yes.
please feel free to go back to our very first episode.
Yep.
Iris is zooming through the screens.
Yes, I know. I'm like,
You're
wait a
doing
minute, let
awesome.
me
You're doing
hide
awesome.
that.
The very first
Hide that.
episode called the prequel, and it's a very short. Okay, I'm not the only one that had sugar apparently.
Honestly, I did it.
We're
I
just
was doing,
giggling today. But
yeah.
go back to the very first episode, and it's called the prequel, and it's only about 30 minutes, but you can see a rundown of Iris's credentials and my credentials and background and experience that led us to doing this podcast. So you can see the details for that across the bottom of the screen. And you can find that on YouTube or Facebook. And all our shows are done live. And if you need to or want to hear them later, we are creating an index of topic matter because we've come up with 90 plus shows with a variety of topics. And a lot of them can be heard audio only on Spotify, iTunes, places like that, or just play them and rewind on Facebook or YouTube. So, thank you. We've got a few people writing in for us tonight. Good,
Got
Zachary,
Zach. He's a former
Nicole,
student and good friend of mine. Good to
excellent.
see you.
We've got
And
Nicole.
Cold.
She does drumming circle with me. She's my friend here at Sunset Beach. Yeah.
And Carolyn Obenshine. I hope I said that right and didn't butcher it.
Look, that looks right. It's
Hello.
pretty.
Tammy's with us.
Tammy is back with her picture of Doggy at the beach.
Oh, that's
Nice.
beautiful. I want to be there.
Oh,
Lisa's back with us. Hey, Lisa. And I'm new here. And
Denasia Elise Horton. Hello, I'm new here.
yes.
May I have a reading, please? Yes, we're going to take turns doing readings on this episode. Thank you for
And
asking.
yeah. And so speaking of that, tonight's episode is our psychic readings. So we'll offer short readings. We're not going to be able to give you your life story, but you can ask a question, and we'll do our best. We want to keep it short. We can't keep going on and on. Ask grandma if kind of keep rolling.
What am I supposed to do in the next life? And is there a reason I should take this job? Ooh, yeah, an answer that'll take just a couple of minutes. So that everybody can have a turn. Absolutely.
Right. And sometimes if you don't know what to ask, one good question is always, what do I need to know right now? What's most relevant? Those kinds of questions.
What would help me the most right now?
Yeah. What are they wanting to tell me? So
yeah.
And okay, so
shall we start with Denasia Elise Horton's question?
Yeah, we'll start with Denasia, and then if anybody else has a question, put it up, and we'll take them first come, first serve. So with that,
absolutely. Anything from Denasia that's a little bit vague, but let me see if I can give you some structure. Are you wanting to know information from deceased loved ones that are hanging out with you? Or did you want information about loved ones that are living near you, such as parents or children or cousins or sweethearts or close friends? In other words, which side? Do you want to know about the loved ones in the past that have passed, or the loved ones that are still here? And specifically, which
the other side? But
I have a feeling is the other side.
Perspective you have.
And consider, Denasia, too, that you've got thousands of loved ones that are passed that go back through the centuries because they love you, such as ancestors. So maybe if you could be a little more specific about which loved one you want that have passed. All right. So Denasia, there's a delay when you type and when we see it. So thank you for your patience. Denasia, for a loved one that has passed, are you interested in... Hang on a second. I'm just tuning into it. You do have a couple of loved ones that are actively trying to get your attention. And they're showing, they came in and they said, hey, you don't have to narrow it down. We want to talk to her. Yeah, it is okay. You wrote, if that's okay. And yes, it is. You've got loved ones, ancestors that want to talk, that are coming through. And they want me to talk about, pass on a message for you. There's two of them, and one seems to have a more feminine energy, and the other one has a more masculine energy. The feminine one seems to be the alpha between the two of them. The other one is a little quieter, not entirely quiet, but a little more passive and secondary.
They're older too.
Oh yes. Oh yeah. This is like grandparents, great grandparents, or great aunts, great uncles, grandparents, brothers and sisters, so to speak, back that way. And there's two things. The biggest part of their message is they want to tell you how proud they are of you. They're not showing me details, but they're being very clear that you're going through a tough time. You have a tough decision to make, and you need to make it fast and soon, like this week or what's left of this week. And they're telling you that you need to do what's right, not what's easy. They're showing me that your decision affects the lifetime of another person, such as a child. like you're making a parental decision that's very, very important to the life of a child. That kind of decision, if not exactly that decision. And they're saying they're really proud of you for being aware to stop and think and not just jump in and not just, act impulsively out of emotion. They're very proud that you're being thinky about it and that you're listening and that you're aware that they're even out there, that your loved ones are out there trying to reach out to you. They're saying that they want to have more conversation and direct contact with you and not have to go through a medium, which is me or Iris or anyone else. And if you're open to it, they would like to visit you in your dreams and talk to you directly one-on-one. They're saying they won't always show up as humans. It might be like a talking bubble or a talking book or a plant or something like that. And or an animal, a deer might walk up to you and start talking in your dream, or a dog or a cat or a bird might come down and start talking to you. But that's them. And they want to participate in your life and help you make happier decisions and not feel so burdened that you're the only one, that you feel so alone. They want you to feel like you do have a support team, because you do. You really do. And secondary male energy is behind her going, mm-hmm, yep, mm-hmm. What she said, yep, we want to help. And that's it in a nutshell.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I hope that was helpful. Yeah.
Hope that was helpful for sure. So and the next question
is Tara Lynn Obenshine, and she said I did say her name right. Thank you very much. And she wants to know what she needs to know. And
please and thank you. That's very considerate of you. The spirit guides like that too.
I keep getting that Tara is this was like just kept lambasting me while you were working with
it came at you hard. Yeah.
I'm wondering, Tara, if you are considering getting an education, learning something. There's something that you're wanting to learn about or learn more about or hone your skills about. And you're on the fence about whether you have enough time, whether it's something you really should pursue at this point. And if you can let me know if I'm on the right track, but what I'm getting is that your guides and all have been shoving this in your face and keep leading you. Like, you'll see a flyer for something, or you'll see something online about it, and you'll go, yeah, I've been thinking about that, but I don't know. And they're putting it in front of your face all the time. Yes, go for it. You won't regret it. Even if, no, I'm not even going to say that. You won't regret it. Something will come out of it. And it will move you forward. Right now, more like, yes. Okay, there we go. More like a career change. And it may take a little bit of education to do that. You might want to take like a course to brush up on some sort of skill, or to recertify yourself in something. But when you're thinking career change, don't sometimes it's easy just to think, okay, I'm going to apply for different types of jobs, but make sure that you're looking at the options that would give you a little bit of education. And I'm not saying it's like 2 years worth. I'm saying this is just like a month or two. So see, there's something out there for you, and you need to pursue that, and that's going to help you in your change. I hope that helps. Did you get anything else, Margot, on that?
I was tuning in on the next question. It's a complex one. Thank you, Iris, for going out there.
Sure.
and bring it in. Everything I did here flowed from energetically. It flowed. Yeah. So the
Okay.
next question here is Cara Marie Fosdale. It says, "Hi, I'm new here. My question is, why have I been experiencing dreams I've had like 10, 15 years ago, but they came to reality just a few months ago?" And then down at the bottom, she wrote again, "My dad has been wanting to want me to pursue getting my CNA, but I'm doubtful because I don't have the finances for that. Don't want to go into debt." Absolutely not. So I'm assuming that your occupational stuff or maybe dad's stuff is what you're dreaming about, that maybe you dreamed about a few years ago. I don't know if those two comments are related or not, or if you were commenting on what Iris said, what you're about the other person, about Tara's stuff. But Kara, I'm looking at uh, what you've been. It says you wrote that you had been dreaming 15 years ago have come to reality just a few months ago. The first thing I saw in that information was that the universe is trying to show you that multidimensionality is real and that you're going to start participating in it whether you want to or not. And it starts with the fact that you dreamed about stuff that's happening now or a few months ago. You dreamed 10 years ago what's happening a few months back. And the ultimate purpose of that is to show you that you have choices. And you have choices beyond what your current reality indicates, which actually that kind of fits in with what you're saying about dad wanting to and your finances not being where you want them to be to study CNA and good stuff like that. Well, you can change that reality and you're already plugged into it naturally by apparently in your dream cycles. Apparently that's coming up again. The dream cycle and communications during dreams. You already have that ability. You already have that skill. You're already tapped in. Even when you're not aware of it, like you were not aware 10, 15 years ago, it was actually predictive since you said it happened just a few months ago as well. And it's not that your guides, the energy around you is telling me to advise you that the dreams are not a warning. There's no imminent danger. They're trying to show you that you have more than one choice, that this could happen and this could happen or this could happen. And obviously your dad has an opinion about what occupation that he wants here, that he wants you to have. Let's see, did you comment again? Yes. No, not related to the same question. Okay. And apparently it is to some extent and that it's another option. Apparently that it's another option. So your guides, which are actually your higher self, are trying to let you know that multiple dimensions, feel free to look up what that means. Specifically, that multiple dimensionalities, multiple timelines, that's another way that for another term that people use to describe this concept of that multiple realities can exist simultaneously and that you can choose which one you're going to exist on or function in, and you can jump in. You can jump over to that one and jump back, or you can pull that one in. This was not that easy before 2012. And from 2012 to now, those all these multiple timelines / choices in life have gotten closer and closer. And so it's easier to jump around than it has been in years past. So your higher self is trying to show you you're already plugged into that awareness. Keep going. Keep going. Iris, your turn. Did you pick a next question?
Well, the next one is from Nicole DePaul, and she's asking, what do I need to know?
I know what she needs to know. I'm hearing it.
Go ahead, because I'm getting.
We might be able to talk about it. I'm hearing integrate yourself. You have lots of different skill sets, lots of different energy awarenesses. You're very astute about a lot of things. You're a world traveler as well. But only part of you is integrated. You've compartmentalized the animal stuff, the people stuff, the meditation stuff, the artistic stuff, the teacher stuff, the student stuff, and all these other beautiful aspects of your life. But you're not integrating them. You're not letting them flavor and affect each other. Iris, what do you got?
Well, that's what, when I first tuned in, I was like seeing she's all over the place. Um, yeah, I was like, she's like, wait a minute,
Okay,
what is?
yeah.
Yeah, and I was just seeing all these different things, and I'm like, okay, so what is she searching for? And I think she's still,
Continuity,
yeah, and
integration,
it's like,
integration, and continuity.
where does my focus go? And I think you need to turn your focus back in on yourself. I think you're doing lots of things for lots of other people and other purposes, but what are you doing for yourself? And it's time to take a moment or two and really ask yourself, what do I want? Where do I want to be? And when you are the person that you want to be, everything else starts pulling together. And it's like Margot said, you're compartmentalizing, but to pull it
It'll start
together, you
flowing.
have
It'll
to,
start flowing instead of
yeah,
stop, start, stop, start. Resistance, push, resistance. It'll all flow. Every aspect of your life will flow together.
yeah.
Cool. Thank
Okay,
you, Iris. That was a good
sure.
team tag on that one.
No problem.
Lisa says, I'm not sure what to ask, but what do I need to know to guide me right now? She also says, I have been finding feathers lately. Ooh, yep. So feathers are a signal. Iris, do you have an insight?
I'm
I
still tuning in, so
Okay. Do you mind if I chat?
yeah, do.
Um, Feathers are signals. Feathers are reminders. They are also considered blessings from the birds and bird medicine. Birds are associated to angelics and higher self. They are also associated to further vision, seeing clearly into the future, understanding where you need to go, choosing a best path because you have a higher sight, because of the height, because of birds flying. So, um, feathers are both a blessing from the bird and also a signal that pay attention. What color the feather was or what type of bird it came from is also part of the message. And if you can happen to write that on there, let me see if you did. What color it is?
No, I was thinking the same thing, but yeah.
Yeah, she hasn't written in yet. Kara wrote some stuff, but yeah, we're scrolling up and down through the chat. Sorry, y'all.
Brown and white.
trying to get through to it. So
Brown and white.
so what did you pick up on, Iris, when you tuned in for
No,
research?
I was wondering. It was like, well, that was the first thing that I thought of was what color were the feathers, and they were brown and white. She says.
Oh,
So,
okay. So
um,
brown and white have to do with third chakra. I'm sorry, second chakra. Second chakra, which is creativity. Something in your life needs to be moved forward, needs to be created. There's something that you artistic or engineering wise that you have been putting off, such as writing or cooking or developing a skill or creating on the computer or music that you haven't written or songs that need to come out of you or dance routines or gymnastic routines or I don't know, yoga lessons, singing lessons, something needs to be created. I keep hearing it's more along the line of music and art and singing and that kind of thing.
video.
Okay, there you go. It's a visual art of some sort. It's a fine art or a visual art of some sort. Performance art related that needs to come out of you. And that's a second chakra thing. The white, that's the brown is related to orange, and that's where I got that information from. White is your Top chakra, your seventh chakra, your divine intervention. That's the angelic influence for the message coming from that feather slash messenger. And feel free to look up feather medicine to get even more insights. But whatever it is you've been putting off learning or expanding, maybe you already know it, but it's time to expand it, learn it, watch YouTube videos, hire a teacher, go to a class, read a book, whatever you want. Now's the time to do it. Universe needs you to, because it's going to lead you to meeting the next people that you need in your life. Okay? Following that passion is going to introduce you to the right people to move you forward in other aspects of your life. And you will move them forward too. That's a nice, good, healthy friendships will come out of that. Namaste. Namaste.
Denasia did ask from her earlier reading, was the male older or younger? And I got the impression that was a couple. They were about the same age. He might have been a few.
They're about the same age. They were also ancient, and I saw that question earlier, and they also said, don't be worrying about how old we are. It's irrelevant. It's irrelevant. They are not your cousin. That was another question I saw you do too. Nope, they're older than that. And they're ancient. They're like, if they were still alive, they'd be several hundred years old. Okay. So you don't have to worry about how old they are, sweetie. They're ancient stuff.
I think she's just trying to figure out who it was.
Yeah, don't worry about it. They love you. Sure. All right.
It says, hello, are there any message about whether I'd go back to school in the next 2 to 5 years? I'm thinking about it.
Not the next 2 years, but closer to 5, yeah.
Yeah. And that reminds me, aside from the reading, a lot of people don't realize if you're in North Carolina, especially, and you go to NC Works, which is a career center, they have resources depending on your income level that you can qualify for free training up to a 2-year degree. And so
that's a free degree.
Yeah, so you can go in and ask about that. And also ask your community colleges, again, you don't know what grants you qualify for or
scholarships as well.
That sort of stuff. So it's always worth checking. There's lots of resources out there.
You said NC Works, what is that, .org?
ncworks.gov.
.gov.
And they have centers all over the state. And it used to be the Employment Security Commission, where you used to go and look for jobs and apply for unemployment. The unemployment part has moved to Raleigh, and the looking for jobs part is in offices all over the place. And then they have other collaborators helping with funding and stuff like that. So I just wanted to throw that out. But as far as, maybe not in the next 2 years, like Margot said, but
more like 3 and 4. I don't see it up as far out as 5.
Or actually, I'm thinking finishing in the next before 5 years. There
you go. If you start at year 3, you're done by year 5. You're good. You're golden. 1.5, 2 years, whatever it takes.
Yeah.
Certification in whatever field you want. I'm hearing it's less than 2 years. Apparently, the course of study for what you're interested in has gotten shorter since the last time you looked into it. I know that's weirdly specific, but that's what they're showing me.
Okay.
So Zachary says,
what do I need to know? Be aware I'm currently doing genealogy and I have my ancestors. Do not overwhelm y'all. You're funny, Zach.
Love you're doing this.
And love you all are doing this. Thank you. So,
what you got, or do you want me to?
You can read Zach, because I've dabbled in his background before. So let's see what you get for it.
Interesting. What do I need to know, Zachary? Oh, Zachary, your inner child self, your playful self, your little boy self needs to come out more. They're showing me you are naturally a playful, high-spirited person, and that's great. Apparently, you need to do it more. You apparently have come recently, or like maybe in the past couple of years, come into a situation that you have to be more adult and more grown up and a little more subdued and formal. Like like a young person taking on a teaching job or a managerial job, you got to suddenly act like a grown up. That's fine, and you're good at it. But they're saying you're starting to leave your happy young child self behind, and he don't like it. He wants to come out and play more often. Literally, he's asking for on a daily level. On a daily level, you need to do something silly, spontaneous, and fun every day. Even if it's just by yourself, for yourself, even if it's just for a few seconds because you got a busy day. But if you have a chance to cut up and have fun and play a weird video game for a few hours and entertain your little boy self, with Twizzlers and soda in front of a video game you love, of something fun, Donkey Kong, old school, makes you happy. Yeah, do that. But if you only got a few seconds to sing a silly song to yourself on the way to the car while you're driving to work, then sing a silly song that makes you laugh at the top of your lungs all the way to work. So, or whatever it takes. But they're saying, yeah, that part of you wants to come back, and it's super, super important that you stay connected to that unique and valuable and highly inspirational part of yourself, because that's where all your great ideas and inspirations ultimately come from. That's your channel spot. That's your access to high creativity. Namaste, Zachary. What you got for him, Iris? Anything else? Ready to go to Jody?
Yeah, I just hit her because I felt like you had.
Sure.
Yeah, I'm thinking. I was following what you were saying, and that just rings.
You got it.
Cool. Yeah. Jody, I've had a very heavy feeling that just won't seem to leave. Help! So, Jody, yeah, I've been.
Not alone.
I've been thinking about her a lot lately, and I've been feeling that, and I thought, what's going on with Jody?
Tune into Jody. Yeah.
Yeah, and so what I'm getting is that the heaviness is coming from a fear, some sort of fear that you've been worried about something, and what I'm hearing is that you can let go. You don't have to dwell on what the possibilities might be, and start living in the moment instead of
reel it in, honey. Come back to be in this moment.
Yeah. It's and it's hard to do when if you've got people in different places and you're worried about them, or you're worried about
you're worried about the past.
Yeah. And all of that bogs down, and the negativity feeds the negativity, and it just gets heavier and heavier. I would start trying to, maybe twice a day, like in the morning and before you go to bed, do some deep breathing and a little bit of meditation.
Blow out with intention.
And feel the energy going through your body, and connect with the earth. Stay grounded. I know we've talked about that on the show before, and if you need more examples of that, let me know. But you need to be grounded, and you also need to bring that energy all the way up and through your body and out the top of your head. Literally go hug a tree, or plants. You need be around plants and
talk to them, hug them.
Yes.
Stroke their leaves like they are kitty cat ears and puppy ears,
Yeah, I mean, I'll go out. I've got a new garden, and I love going out and telling my old plants, "You look so pretty today, and look at you." And let's get that old leaf off.
Are you enjoying the sunshine? How does that dirt taste? Is it delicious?
And it just makes such a difference. And even if you only do that for 5 or 10 minutes, it changes and helps bring that positive energy and regenerates.
Your brain knows you talk to a friend, which is therapeutic, which means your chemical cascade in your brain changes. Those serotonins start going. It doesn't matter that your friend was a plant. Your brain doesn't care about that. It knows you did the work, and you start benefiting. Yeah.
And yeah, and the other thing is, you can't you have to worry about you, and not, and I don't mean to use the word worry in that situation. You have to focus on you. Worrying about what could happen, what might happen, and what could have been is is redundant and unnecessary. And if you're centered and focused, it won't matter anyway. You'll be able to handle whatever comes your way. I hope that helps on. Um,
I wanted to bring in a side comment for everybody. You're listening to other people's readings. Guess what? If you're here and you heard somebody else's reading, there's advice in it for you too. If you're
Yeah.
here tonight listening, everything we're saying is for everybody at some level.
yes, yes.
So I just wanted to bring you that. Tammy was next. What does Spirit want me to know? And while we're doing that one, Christy Farrell was next. Christy, you said, can I have a reading, please, if that's okay? Yes, Christy, please write your question in the chat further down the line if you haven't already. And we'll eventually get to you. So, and then Edie waved and said hello. Kara made some good comments about her starseed connections and her occupation. But we're skipping over Tammy. What does Spirit want Tammy to know? Iris, do you have a bead on Miss Tammy?
Tammy.
Let you tune in while I talk a little bit.
Yeah.
Kara was talking about the colors of the feathers have different meanings. I believe the white is like an angelic thing. Yes. Kara was commenting. Very good information and helpful on Lisa's read. Lisa says thank you. Nicole says thank you. Amy Joelle says hello and help. And then she wrote back, ignore the help. Modi says, oh, that's very nice and thank you. We have Mike Dwyer checking in from Manchester, England. And Tristan.
Oh, very cool.
Very cool. Hello from across the pond.
Yeah.
I know you're having fun listening to our southern accents, which is actually
and he's up late too, I believe.
Absolutely. Did you guys know that a southern accent is a slow version of a British accent? Speed it up and watch what happens. I have so many southern speaking friends that go to England, and British people ask them, well, so what part of Britain are you from? Because they hear it, but they hear it slower. It's interesting. That's because that's who settled
a long time ago.
Yeah, that's who settled the Southeast. A bunch of English speaking, Brits and Scottish and Irish. Yeah. So anyway, back to our
Tammy.
lovely test. Tammy, what does Spirit want Tammy to know? Hers is actually on the simple side. Go ahead.
Yeah, I'm getting that she's going through the motions, but it's not always connecting for her. That there's there's some self-doubt there. And so, Tammy, what they want you to know is you're doing all the right things. You just need to believe it for yourself. And
I got information.
Yeah, go ahead.
Do you want to finish with your and, or do you want to gel that one a little more?
You're
Iris, you're actually channeling the energy of being stuck that she's experiencing.
Oh, thank you. Yes, that makes sense.
Yeah, you're actually experiencing what she's
God, I do that sometimes, and I forget. Back out.
You're doing a deep dive. Back out. It's going to blow. It's going to blow. Back out.
Danger, Will Robinson. Danger.
The vortex has got you.
I was trying too hard.
Dive. All right, so back to poor Tammy, leaving her out there. Tammy, you're taking yourself too seriously, hon. Lighten up. That advice about take a deep breath and connect out and hug a tree and tickle a plant, Yeah. I'm hearing you have a boyfriend or a sweetheart or a husband, you need to tickle him too.
Whoa.
And guess what? He's supposed to tickle you in response. All right. That's assuming that it's a two-way street. Enjoy yourself. That's really actually what I'm talking about is you need to go have fun. You need to lighten up. You need to stop giving yourself such a hard time. You need to understand that you're a very valuable, worthy, and deserving person that deserves downtime, that
And you're
deserves
capable.
joy.
She's perfectly capable, but she's doubting and she's doing it, but then going, but I don't know if I'm doing it the right way.
Imposter. Yeah, that's imposter syndrome. Look that up. That's bullshit, honey. You're fine. You're very talented. You're very appreciated. They're showing me some of the self-doubt is coming from perhaps you don't feel respected in some of your environments, or home or a work or a family or your parents or children or something. You're not feeling quite acknowledged for what you can do, and you're starting to doubt yourself because you don't need anybody to validate how valuable you are, how talented you are. You know it. You go bring yourself joy and fun times as your own personal reward. Enjoy artwork, enjoy, food or television or affection with your loved ones or your pets or whatever you want to do. All right. You're fine, Tammy. Deep breath. Go up and out.
All right, Christy Farrell. Good evening. Can I please have a reading? And Christy, did you put in here what?
I was
Is there
hoping
any
she
particular-
would, write a more specific question further down. I don't know if she had the chance to yet. She may not be on the air anymore because I
Okay,
don't see anything
we'll look
past that.
for it, and if we see
So,
it further down, we'll pick up on it.
Amy Joelle Freeman, you wrote hello and then you said ignore the help, and that's cool. But Amy, if you're still here, write a question. Yeah, what would you like to know? What do you want to know from your guides? Past lives? We should have given a little more structure. Some of these people already know us. We can look at past lives. We can look at your chakra and body system. We can look into the future a little bit and tell you the highest probability from where you're at right now. We can look at your loved ones around you, such as children and spouse and friends and parents and brothers and sisters and grandparents. We can look at that. We can look at your spirit guides if you guys want to know who your spirit guides are around you at this moment, because they change periodically. You want to know who's with you at the moment. Sometimes it's a spirit animal. Sometimes it's another type of being. Sometimes it's an angelic. Sometimes it's an ancestor. So who's with you? And do you want to know? Now's the time to ask. We can tap into all that beautiful, good stuff.
Tammy says thank you that we are spot on.
Awesome. Thank you for saying that. That's really cool.
And Tristan says, is there anything about my future career?
Woohoo. All right. The energy, I swear to God, Iris, the energy for that went straight to you. I don't mean to throw the ball at you that hard, but it went wham. We're going to show Iris what we want them to say to dear Tristan.
Oh boy, the pressure's on. Okay.
Just start rattling off what you're being shown. You know how it works.
Yeah, I do.
And we're gonna. By the way, we will be showing you guys how to do this. We've already done it. Started last week. We did the first episode about ethics of being a reader, being a medium, and so on, and the ethics and responsibilities of it. But we're going to continue with a whole series of how to develop your intuition and different skill sets, so you too can more easily, more spontaneously do what we do all the time.
Okay. Tristan, what I'm getting is that you've got a lot of skills, and you're I gotta back out. Okay, I'm getting sucked in. You've got to. They're saying that it's enjoy. Look at what gives you the most pleasure. There's some things you're good at that you're not really. It's like it's okay and you'll do it, but it's nothing you'd want to make a career out of. but there are things that you really enjoy doing, but you don't think of it as being a career opportunity.
Ah,
Look at the things that bring you
joy.
joy, and there are careers that can go around what you enjoy that may be supplemented by the things that you do well but don't enjoy as much, but when you put them together, it's like this surprise package. And I've it's funny because a lot of people that come to me for career guidance, in my day job, I end up I'll come up with some of the craziest things. I'll start talking to them, and I'm like, have you ever thought about doing blah 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 blah? And they're like, oh my god, and everything. And I'm looking up the jobs because I didn't even know that they existed, and say that's a direction. And the thing about it is, once you start focusing on a direction, it's going to put you in the path of people that will help supplement your career, and it might take you in another direction that you didn't know existed. So it's like, instead of just trying to do what you think you're supposed to do, look at what makes you happy, and there is a career around that, and start going in that direction. It doesn't matter if you end up in that. What matters is that you're going to meet the people along the way who are going to boost you and get you where you need to be.
And you will be doing the same thing for them spontaneously.
Yes.
Yeah, it'll be
Yes.
symbiotic. Remember, guys, everything we're saying, reading for other people has a little piece in it for you too. Kara asked a good question in the comments. She's on, Kara Marie is on Facebook. She said she missed part of the advice. Well, the parts you hear are the parts that are for you. And if life or the phone or the kids or something takes you away from the show of advice, apparently whatever was said didn't pertain to you. The universe is really cool and that specific sometimes. So don't worry about what you missed. Glom on and grab and soak up what you're hearing for advice for other people, regardless if your name's attached to it or not.
Also, we had both Lisa and Zach were asking, who are my spirit guides?
Oh, that's my specialty.
Yeah. So let's talk a little bit about where they come from and who they are.
Absolutely. Okay, there's some other comments about the side.
Yeah,
no, there's other side comments about other, like where the Appalachian accent came from. We're going back to another conversation.
Yeah.
All right, spirit guides are the energies that you have contracted with most likely before you were born, but you can contract with them now while you are awake in this life as well. They are energies that have benevolent intentions to conspire to help you to gain whatever current life lesson you're on, to gain the knowledge, the awareness, the lesson for the current life lesson you're on. And once you gain that lesson or gain that insight, new guides come along. Your old ones usually, not always, pretty much step back. Sometimes they disappear completely. It depends on how much you need them and what kind of life lesson it was. But they usually step aside or step all the way back to let new guides come forward and be more alpha, be more present, to guide you on your next lesson. Sometimes when the changing of the guard happens, one pulls in and another comes out. Sometimes there's sort of a dead or quiet time in between that shift. And sometimes that makes intuitive people panic when their guides are suddenly quiet. No, they're switching and moving to a higher register. So in parlance of readers, sometimes that's called dark night of the soul. Sometimes that's called a spiritual emergency. There's all kinds of terms for it. All it means is you're in the in-between time. You're in the liminal space. You're in transition. Your guides will always, always kick back in, a different one, most likely, later. Guides can be angelics, ancestors, spirit animals, power animals, entities that are not human or animal related at all. They kind of look like glowing balls of color or light.
I had a couple of trolls wandering around one time.
Yes, you can have trolls and fairies and Magic Kingdom. I forgot about that. Dragons, dolphins, Sasquatch. I've seen Sasquatches. They're cool, and a Yeti. I've seen a Yeti. Yetis are very playful in the spirit realm. On Earth, they're tough, mean boogers, but in the spirit realm, they're very playful and goofy. So, just FYI. But it can be insects, birds, fish, snakes, reptiles. It can be all kinds of things. There are malevolent energies out there too, but we're talking about spirit guides and spirit animals that are here for benevolent or kind and loving and good purposes. All right. Entities that are here for negative reasons are not here to guide you. We're not talking about them at the moment. So, who asked who their guides were? Let's see. Lisa asked. Hang on, and Zachary did, and then V Grow, who's actually a Valerie, is in between. So, hi, Valerie. So, Zachary, who are your spirit guides? Woo! All right, right off the bat, I got a praying mantis. Is okay. He's getting frustrated with you, Zach. The praying mantis. He's got his little cute little long arms, and he is one of the few insects with an independently moving head from his thorax. He keeps tapping you on the shoulder with his, hey, he wants you to pay attention, and you're not. And you might not know he's there, and that's okay. Look up praying mantis spirit animal guides. You can go to my website, indigoanswers.com. Iris, roll that beautiful bean footage, indigoanswers.com. And you can go to the resources in the main menu. You'll see power animal links to dictionaries online, websites, also spirit animal and totem animal, TOTEM, totem animal, power animal, spirit animal guides. There's like 4 or 5 dictionary websites on the resources page on my website, Indigo Answers by Margot and David, indigoanswers.com. So, praying mantis is coming through. You also have which looks like a grub worm. Something's gestating, something's pupating and becoming something else. And it's okay, good. It's a butterfly. The insects are coming for you, honey, the pretty ones. That's cool. So you've got a butterfly that's in a larval state that's waiting. And when that puppy bursts forth, so do you. That means there's a lot of joy, a lot of celebration, a lot of going from a current state to a higher state of existence. Instead of being an earth creature, being a creature of the air, a lot more mobility, a lot more freedom, a lot more joy, a lot more color. And those are your primary spirit animals right now. Thanks for asking. The other person that asked about spirit animals was who?
Lisa Clark Klein.
There she goes. All right. Who are spirit guides? There we go. Moving the little screen. Lisa, show me Lisa Clark Klein's spirit animals. All right, show me the next one. And show me the next one. All right. Lisa, you got some weird shit with you. Just for starters, I don't know why, but your first spirit animal, which is probably an animal from a different planet, looks a lot like a dancing Oreo cookie. Don't know why. It's just weird stuff like that shows up.
Milk? I mean,
yeah, he probably swims in a little white ocean every now and then. But he's a chocolatey round color, and he's got a white stripe down the middle, and he's round and he's flat. But he has arms and legs. And yeah, he's furry. The chocolate's actually furry. He is from another planet. He actually has teeny tiny antennae that retract and go in. Dude, what's your message for Lisa? Your primary? What are you? I'm going to remind Lisa where her soul actually came from someday. All right, he's from your home planet, from where your soul actually came from. The second spirit animal that came up, feel free to look it up, polar bear. All right, polar bear came through. Bears are about feminine divine energy, very protective, though. It's about women energy, not the sweet, gentle yin yang energy. Mm-mm. Polar bear is about you touch my baby, I kill your ass. All right. Polar bears are all bears are feminine divine energy in the warrior sense. All right. Feel free to look up polar bear medicine. And the third entity that came through was this really unusual looking tiger stripy dog thing. But I said, guys, can you show me, is this an earth animal? And they said, yes, it is. It kind of looked like a chupacabra. And if you don't speak Spanish, you won't know what that is. Except for it was not a sickly chupacabra. It was not a, the mangy kind that they kind of talk about at Halloween to make it look worse and seem scarier. No, this is like a jackal type dog that has brindle on it, brindle striping in its fur. And it's brown, and it definitely has a dog snout and dog gait and a dog tail versus a cat. And so the word jackal came while I was talking. Didn't show up until then. So feel free to check out sort of jackal, hyena, chupacabra kind of. Chupacabra is out of the Mexican tradition, and that's a third one. Right now, your energy is running off of the polar bear. And you have a couple others around you, too. You've got some flowers that want to talk to you, colorful ones. But that's what came through for you right now. Generally speaking, most people have 9 spirit guides at any one time. 1, 2, or 3 are actually talking at any one moment. So those were the predominant ones for you at this time. Thanks for listening.
I'm trying to hit the ones that haven't had questions before.
Yeah.
So, Jennifer Kennedy.
Yes.
Can I ask what my guides want me to know?
Jennifer, you have lovely eyes.
Yeah. Jennifer, I'm getting that there is somebody in your life that is causing you grief at the moment. Somebody that you're trying to fix or change, but it's not happening. And it's like you're frustrated. You love them, and you care about them, and you know what's best for them, but they're just not doing what they need to do for themselves. And it's time to stand up for yourself and do for you and not worry about whether or not they're going to do for themselves. They have to figure it out on their own, and there's not going to be any changing. But, if they change at all, it's going to be because you tell them, I'm done. And it's like you've got to let go. Does that make sense?
Stand in your power.
Yeah.
That's what I kept hearing while you were talking. Tell her to stand in her power. Own her power. Stop giving her power away. Yes. And actually, there's quite a few of you on here that need to listen to that. Yeah. Because as I read your names, I'm hearing she also needs to hear that. And he also needs to hear that. Stand in your power, people. Own your power.
Right.
It's okay. And it's okay to offend other people with it a little bit. It's boundaries, healthy boundaries. Stand in your power. It's okay to say, you know what? I'm not in the mood for that. Or that doesn't speak to me right now. Or no.
This is not good for me. It's not helping me.
It doesn't work for me. Yeah, that doesn't work for me. It's not good for me. I'm glad that makes you happy, but I'm going to do it a different way. Or I'm going to consider this a different way, or however you want to say that.
Yeah.
Just to give you some verbiage there. Let's see, Heather Hilton, what do I need to know right now? Everything I just said, Heather. I love you, sweetheart. But yeah, what do I need to know right now?
Does Heather have children?
I don't think she does. I'm pretty sure she doesn't. But she's a caretaker, so you might be picking up on energy of people around her. Um, Heather, yeah, I keep seeing you need to own your energy, own your identity a little more, and
Yeah.
step up and show up as that. They're showing me that you physically don't feel good right now, that something's giving you aches and pains or lethargic or something like that. You're tired, that kind of thing. Have a healthier diet, make yourself go get onto a healthier sleep schedule, push the toxic people out of your life. Only hang out with people that make you happy and that you make them happy. It's symbiotic, all right, not just a one-way flow. Own your power, stand in it, and know how valuable you are. And stop making yourself second on your to-do list. Heather needs to come first. Heather needs to come first. All right. And other people who put you first, good, but you can pass that message on. Thank you for putting me first, but you need to be first, and I can be second for you because I've got me first. I'm awesome. All right. Work with that.
I think the next one is V. She's open to
Um,
whatever she needs to hear.
Yeah. See, real quick, Kara. They are your previous family, so to say, in your past life, or like your astrological lineage. Usually, we're talking about past life when we're talking about family. When I'm talking about family that's in the past. Um, Tammy, do I have a spirit gatekeeper? That was next, actually. But I want to, Tammy, we want to answer some people that haven't had a chance to ask yet. So, Valissa says, I'm open to whatever. Valissa, I started listening to what you're saying, or to your question already, and what information is out there for you. And it's the same message I've always gotten for you. I've met you years and years and years and years ago in the past when I lived in a different city, and so did you and your mom. And what I'm seeing is still true for you, but in a different way. And what that is Valissa, you're holding back on your spiritual power. You're actually a huge powerhouse. You're actually a huge healer. You're actually a huge spiritual dynamo, somebody to uh, reckon with, as they might say in old school language. Except for you're not a bulldozer, mean kind of person like that. It's just an old expression. However, you can be if you want to. You can be a total ice queen and a total bulldozer when you want to be. So that means taking responsibility for being able to move that much energy, power, and influence. And that means knowing when to throw that out and when to reserve it and not worry about other people acknowledging it. You need to do it when you feel guided intuitively, spiritually, energetically, to turn it on and turn it off, to turn that switch on, turn on the sweet, fuzzy, cuddly mommy energy, or to turn that off and kick on with the Ice Queen, I kick your ass, I'm Galadriel and Lord of the Rings kind of energy, polar bear, oorah, Marine Queen, kick it in. So it's a good time now for you to start learning the discernment between when I need to put it all forth and be a fire queen, and when I need to pull back and be the fuzzy, warm, blanky person instead. Um, and stop worrying about what your identity is and what your purpose is on earth. You're already serving that purpose. It's already happening. You're doing it spontaneously. And no, the universe does not give a shit that you don't know what the hell it is or what you're doing. That's not part of the agenda. You didn't sign up for labels. You're not going to get labels. Just keep doing whatever you instinctively know you should, coming from heart, not from fear, not from logic, not from any manipulative crap like that. All right. Again, this advice is for a lot of people, not just her. um, Own your power, sweetie. You are a powerhouse to contend with. Keep using it. If I remember right, you sent me a message that you said your mother was sick, and I have done a long distance Reiki treatment on her already earlier today, and I told it to go as long as she wants infinitely. Cheryl can draw on it. You can tell her that she can draw on that energy all she wishes for whatever comes next. Whether she continues her journey on earth or continues her journey on the other side of the light. Doesn't matter. I'm still going to see her. I'm still going to feel her. Tell your mother I love her and I love you.
Very nice. Okay, and I'm sorry, I lost who you were talking to.
That's
that
V Grow
V?
was
Okay, got it.
her handle there. And there's a lot of thank yous. There's a hello, Jalen is Pennington. Honey, feel free to write. Oh, you did write a question. Cool.
Yeah.
Can I ask when will I find my next career opportunity? Iris, they are just knocking on your day job left and right tonight. That is just too funny. That's awesome.
I know it. I just never know what's going to draw. Jillian, I'm seeing that, it's hard to say that something's going to happen within 3 months, 6 months, whatever. Or at least I have a hard time doing that because there's so many things that have to come together. But I'm thinking within the next year, there will be 6 months to a year. There'll be some opportunities for you. And it's whether or not you recognize them.
And how fast you want to get ready.
Yeah.
You got to recognize them and then you got to get ready for them. Yeah.
Right. And I think I'm sensing that there'll be some hesitation. A lot of times Spirit brings us opportunities and then suddenly we go, oh, I don't know if I want to do that or not.
Fear of success.
Yeah. And it's like, so once you commit, go for it. If you want a change, take the opportunities that come to you. Again, a lot of times one opportunity may not be the opportunity, but it takes you to the opportunity.
It's a step towards the right one. Yeah.
Yes. So, okay, she got it. Good.
Kara said, I'm curious to know what my spirit guide animal is. This is so interesting. Yes, it is. Kara, real quick, you have a fuzzy white thing. What is that? That's a snow monkey. You've got a cute, it's a baby snow monkey. Look it up. That's a Japanese animal, actually. And what else does she got? She also has a bumblebee. I mean, I can talk for a long time about what each animal is, but honestly, you can look it up for free online. Again, indigoanswers.com, resource page, power animal, totem animal. Click on one of those words. It'll take you to a website, or you can just Google it. Spirit animal, snow monkey. it'll come up. It'll come up. Or DuckDuckGo it, or whatever you want to do with it. Third one. Where's the third one? They all okay. The next person behind is this little guy made out of mirrors and glass. He's like a piece of artwork where he's just sort of a statue made out of lots of facets of mirrors and glass, not diamond, flat, like glass and mirrors. And he crinkles and tinkles and shines, but he's not for your current life lesson. He's going to show up more in the future when where you're at is behind you, when the current life lesson is behind you. He's ramping up for the next life lesson that you're going to work on after this one. So apparently they're queuing up for something really interesting. Keep going. Yeah. Absolutely. Coming on down the page. Edie says she just found out someone passed last year. Barbara, need to thank her for all she taught me. Iris, can you field that one?
Yeah, she, just the fact that you've said it, she knows it. And she appreciates the acknowledgement. I think whenever somebody has done great things in this life for people, and when they're appreciated, it boosts their energy. And they feel it and they know where it's coming from. And so it's very much appreciated. And basically what I'm hearing is she's saying she learned as much from you as you did from her. That it was a cool exchange, but she has a lot of gratitude for your thoughts and
Barbara's saying I love you too.
About, you just found out and she passed away last year. She's away. So it's okay. She's getting more out of your message now than she would have at that time. So it's all good.
Yeah, she was very distracted when she first crossed over. Now she can really hear you. That's a very
Yeah.
good point, Iris. Thank you. Good clarity on that one. Absolutely.
Um,
I wanted to answer something I saw real quick. So are your spirit guides honed in with your natal chart? Kara, that depends on if your spirits are into natal charts and astrology.
they
If
are
they're,
if they need to be.
yeah, exactly. If they need to be, they are. Natal charts and astrology charts, those are all super awesome, useful and fun and wise tools, but they're more for humans to plug into the other side rather than the other side to plug into us. Just FYI.
Yeah.
They can use it, but it's easier for us to use it.
Yeah,
So
it's more of a tool for self-exploration and why we're the way we are and what affects us and that kind of stuff. And they already know it. I mean, when you're on
yeah,
the other
they know
side,
everything. So it's 10:41. Let's go with one last question. Heather Hilton says, "What is my strongest animal guide?"
go
I
for it. You're good on the guides.
really okay. All right. So Heather, you've got this giant caterpillar thingy. Not from this planet. He's beautiful though. He's furry, like a lot of our caterpillars are, except for he's like about as big as a loaf of French bread or something. He's pretty big. He's about foot and a half, about half a meter long in British terms, European terms, and it's a he because he's the pronoun he keeps coming up, and he's an ancient. Oh, okay, yeah, he's very ancient. He remembers things like horseshoe crabs and crustaceans from that now we see fossils of, segmented fossils of his ancestors. He's old too. The caterpillar is really old. I'm asking, do you morph into something else and fly? Like a butterfly or a moth or something cool like that? And he said, I'm from another planet. You wouldn't recognize what I become, but he said, my holographic ancestors, I'll explain that in a second. My holographic ancestors become lunar moths on Earth.
Ooh.
Holographic refers to the fact that everything that happens in the universe has an equal and opposite twin reflection, opposite secondary reaction, such as the spiral you see in a fern leaf is the same spiral ratio mathematically that appears in a snail shell spiral, that appears in the gold ratio and the golden mean, so on and so on and so on. That's just one example out of billions. So his holographic equal opposite on Earth becomes a lunar moth, which are gorgeous. Look them up. He says, yes, if you look up lunar moth medicine, you'll know more about what I'm here to do. He's also showing me that he has been with you for at least 20 years as you understand time passing. To you, it would be 20 years. To him, it'd be something else.
I'm
Another
thinking
time unit.
too, he has a choice of whether he goes into a chrysalis stage or not, and he's happy the way he is.
That would explain it perfectly. Thank you. Yeah. Yeah. And he's a wise old dude. He's very cuddly and sweet, and he's furry. Yeah. Like a pillow. He's sweet.
Hmm.
He's soft and mushy. Um,
Yeah.
if you probably would see him smoking a hookah pipe on top of a mushroom in an Alice in Wonderland movie.
Except fuzzier and cuter.
Yeah, much fuzzier without the top hat.
Yeah.
Long handlebar fuzzy mustache. He's very funny and cute, sweet looking. You're very welcome, guys. Everybody who said thank you, you're welcome.
Yes. We
Namaste.
appreciate
Bless
it.
you guys. Glad you
Thank you for
enjoyed it.
trusting us with this. And I guess we do need to wrap it up because we're going over time. But just to kind of show you what's coming up, we've got tonight was the psychic readings. Next week, we're going to start covering the chakras, and we're starting with the first one, which we've called Chakras Code Red Level 1. And we're gradually going to go through the chakras. We're not going to do it week after week after week. We'll do one and then wait a few weeks and do another one. But we're going to work our way up the rainbow, so to
There's
speak.
amazing stuff to learn about every single chakra that you don't always realize.
Yes.
Yeah.
And then we're going to do part 2 of honing your intuition. We did part 1
Just last week. Yep.
Last week, I
Yep.
think. And so we're going to hit part 2. And then on July 27th, we're going to talk about the universal laws. And
By popular.
what are they? And what do they come from? And what do they mean? And that sort of thing. So those are coming up. And we do the psychic readings. We're trying to plan those out once a month for you. So
you'll have access to more. Yeah.
Yes, we'll definitely do this again. And
this has been fun for us.
Yes.
High five, Iris. High five.
Yay!
One side or the
other. Thank you all so much for being with us. Have a good evening. Have a good week. And namaste.
Namaste.
Thank you for joining The Eyes of Indigo with Iris Carter and Margot Ross Sears. Music is Arcadia by Kevin MacLeod of Incomptech.com, licensed under Creative Commons. Visit our Facebook page for broadcast details at www.facebook.com/Eyes of Indigo. Show is copyrighted 2022 by Iris Carter and Margot Ross Sears. All rights reserved.